Okay, so let's look at composing new email messages. I want to show you all the different components that kind of go into your email message, including recipients, including the body text, including objects such as pictures and graphs and so forth, as well as the formatting of your information, your text that you're going to have in there, putting in bullets, line spacing, tabs, things like that. So without further ado, that's what we're going to do here. So anyway, so the first thing you want to do is you go in and click on a new mail like that. You'll get something like this. Now this is the default look of it. You have the to and you have the carbon copy. Now what I like to do is have a little bit more in here, and what I'm going to do here is show you how to get a little bit more in there for recipients. If we click on the options, you'll see the BCC. If you click onto that, it's going to give you the blank carbon copy. I'll explain what that is in just a little bit. And if you want to also, you can click onto the from, and that'll have your name up there. All right, so let's talk about what type of recipients go into each of these. All right, so first of all, the recipients that you'd put into there are the people that are directly affected, or the people that you're directly sending this email to. All right, carbon copy, or courtesy copy they call it now, is something where you're sending it to people who you just want to give them a heads up. They're not responsible to have to maybe reply back. It's more of just the people in the to that will have a sense of, well, having to respond to the email that I sent out. But the people who get the CC, they're more or less just happy that you kind of let them in, gave them an idea of what you were sending out to everybody else. The blind carbon is a recipient or more where you want them to get a copy of this email. They don't feel obligated to reply either, just like the CC. But what's kind of interesting about the BCC is that the BCC people, when they receive the email, are going to know who you sent the email message to as far as the tos and the CCs. On the flip side, though, the tos and the CCs aren't going to know anything about who the BCC was. They're not going to know that you even had a BCC on there. So it's one of those things where your boss might say, listen, whenever you email so-and-so, make sure you send me a copy of it just so that I have it for my records, kind of thing. So in order to get the recipient's addresses in these areas here, a couple ways you can do it. The first way would be you go to the to here, you click onto that, you'll get a list of your global recipients. In other words, the people that are involved or part of your organization, they'll be part of this list, and you can see them all in there. So you might say, well, I'm going to put in maybe student A, and all you basically do is just do a double click on that one, maybe double click student C and student E, let's say, right? And then you can go ahead and hit OK. All right, so that's how that one works. Another one you can do, let's say with the carbon copy, I can go ahead and click onto that, and I can say, oh, I want B there, and I want maybe D as well for the carbon copies, or courtesy copies, right? And then while you're here, you can also figure out who you want for your blind carbon, if there's anybody like that. In this case, what you can do is you can say, well, maybe my blind carbon will be, let's say, student F. So what you'll do is you click down here, all right, double click on to student W, right? Now see what happened there, it actually went back up to the top there. So let's backspace out of that. All right, get that out. And then what you want to do, I slipped up there. When I click onto here, all right, you've got that one selected there. Click onto that, and that'll put it in there. And then once you're down there, then you can do another double click, and it'll put another one in there, see? So that's all I have to do for that. Then we just go ahead and hit OK, and there they are. Now another way you can do it, I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of these for now. Another way you can do it is you can just go ahead right in the top there and just type in some part of the recipient. So if I were to type in, let's say, STU, right, I'm going to start getting all my STUs. And of course, in this case, there's an STU student A, and maybe that's what I want, so I'll just click onto that really. And then while I'm back up there again, I can click back up there and it will give me more. Or what I can do is I can type in, let's say, maybe the letter C, okay, and it'll give me something like this, and I'll see a few of those, and you know, I can dig it up like that. Or in this case, I can just type in STU again, and if I have to, I can go STUDENT, and then I can say maybe space, and I can do maybe a C or something like that, all right? And there's student C, and in that case, I can just hit the enter key, and that puts that in there as well. And I can do another one, I can do student, and I might do E, there's E there, and I can just do something like that. So a lot of different ways, but that's pretty much, I think, the two easy ones there. And then the next thing is you want to put some sort of a subject in there, and the subject is going to be something that the recipient or recipients of the other end are going to see. So you want to maybe have something in there that has something to do with whatever you're setting about. So it can be kind of general, but just something that's kind of descriptive. You can do something like maybe important, you know, budget. Okay, type there. Okay, important budget info or something like that, right? And then if you hit the enter key, then it goes right down into the body. And this is where I'd begin to, you know, type in the body of the message. So I might type in something like, you know, Linda, and then put a comma there, and then type in the body. And wow, I can type fast, can't I? So I didn't think you wanted to sit there watching me type, so I paused it and got some text in there for you. And this is just some sample text from some help file. Now you're going to notice the red underlined words there, and that is letting you know that you've got some typos. And so what you can do on that is we can go over to here, we can just do a right click on that. And in this case it's going to be video provides a powerful way to help you prove, all right? So this is what we want here, is prove there. Same thing here, we can right click onto that, that's going to be type. This one here, we've got a double word, so we do the right click on that second one, delete repeated word. Same thing here with document, that's what it should be, the header. Okay, now in this case, there's no word, you know, that is coming up by. And I'm sometimes kind of disappointed with the spell check with these programs because, you know, that to me, I can't see why it couldn't figure out that maybe I also meant header, which is not showing up there. So I'm definitely not going to add this to the dictionary. What I'll do is I'll just go back in there myself and put an A in there and kind of take care of that one. We might also want to maybe get rid of the comma, so do that as well, and then that will fix it up there for us. And then we have pictures over here, and there we go, I got that fixed. Then I can maybe look at, you know, doing some formatting on this. So I'll give you like a first one here. Let's say I want to put the word wonderful here. Right now we have in there powerful, right? And maybe I'm trying to point out the fact that it's not really powerful, it's really wonderful, right? But I want to still keep the wonderful in there. What I can do is I can actually do a double click on that word, right? And then go over here into the Format Text tab, and I've got this little strikeout here, and I can click onto that, and therefore then when Linda reads this, she'll see, oh, video provides a, oh, not powerful, but a wonderful way, okay? Just whatever. What you're trying to do is kind of show that this is a better way to describe it than just saying it's powerful, right? So whatever you think you could use that for, I think it's a great little tool. Now another thing you can do if you want to kind of highlight an area you can actually go up to here, and we've got a little highlighter. And we can, first of all, we can do this two different ways. We can either just select the area that we want to highlight, something like that, and then go up here and click on the drop down and pick the color that you'd like to use for your highlight. You got all the traditional colors in here, so if you wanted to go with maybe the standard yellow, click onto that. All right. Now the other way you can do it is to go up there and choose a color. So let's just say we're going to go with yellow. So choose the color first. Then you can just go in here and you'll see how your pointer changes a little bit, and we can actually go and highlight maybe this area here, this area over here, and maybe this one over here. Not too bad. Now once I want to turn that off and not do it anymore, I can just go back up there and hit the button here, and that'll turn it off, or I can just hit the escape key. Now if you later on say to yourself, you know what, I shouldn't have maybe done this one here, what you could do, probably the easiest way would be to basically just kind of select that area like that, hit the drop down arrow up here, and click on a no color, and that gets rid of it. So that's pretty easy. The other thing too, while we're kind of like on the subject of color, you can also select an area like this, and you can go and change your font color. You got all kinds of colors here. We've got green and whatever else. You can make it bold, make it underlined, type of thing. So pretty basic things. I'm sure most of you have used these before. What you're going to find with a lot of these tools, these are the same ones that you have in Microsoft Word, and a lot of people end up just using email in place of their word processing documents. It used to be where you type up a letter and you'd save it as a file, whatever, and then you'd attach it to the email and just send it like that. Now people are just doing it right straight inside of the email message, because you can do a lot of the same formatting that we do in Microsoft Word. So pretty powerful. All right, I'm going to go and type another paragraph in between these. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit the enter key like that, and I'm going to type another paragraph now. Hey, that was quick, huh? All right, I want to show you another little thing we can do here. Let's say we want to set this out from the rest of the document, right, or the rest of the email message here. We can actually click anywhere in the paragraph here and make sure we're in the format paragraph or the format text area here. And over here in the paragraph area, we can actually click on to our dialog box button, and we can tell it we want maybe 4 inches of indent on the left and right side. See? Hit OK on that, and we end up getting something like this. So if I go, I'll just make the email message a little bit less wide. You can kind of see what happens here. So you're getting a little bit of that on both sides. Now, what you could also do with this whole thing is we could like click onto anywhere in the message there, hit Control A, and that will select everything that we have. And we can go again into the Format Text tab there and click on to our Justify. You click on that, you end up getting a nice block looking text there. That's kind of a nice look as well. All right. Sometimes what I'll do too to kind of section that off even better is I'll go over here into the Insert tab, and we've got a choice over here called horizontal line. So I'm sitting right over here, right? Click on the horizontal line, I get a horizontal line in there, all right? Now if I kind of delete from here, I can kind of pull it up and get a little bit extra space out of there. And then I can go to this one here, go back and tell it I want to insert a horizontal line, and I get the same thing there as well. And again, I can go to here, hit the delete, and kind of pull that up. So I can kind of section that off a little bit. Then what we can also do is maybe go back into our format text area here, select this, just select the text there, right? And once we've done that, we can go back up into the italic area here. We can make it italic if you wanted to. We can make it smaller. Hit this little A here. That brings it down a little bit. And we could also maybe even change the color up a little bit. So we go here to the text color and maybe go with a lighter shade of gray there. All right, just to make it kind of just stand out. I can also change the spacing between the lines of the paragraph here. So I can just click anywhere in here, go back to my format text, hit my little dialog box button there, right? And then over here in the line spacing, I can go in here and I can maybe type in maybe a point, let's say maybe like a 0.85, all right? And I do that and I hit OK, and it just kind of shrinks it down a little bit, so it makes it a little bit tighter. You could do that with the entire document as well, but that's just a neat little interesting thing you can do there. Now another thought that you might have is maybe towards the bottom here, I'm going to start a new paragraph, so I'm just going to go and hit the Enter key. And what I want to do here is I want to create some bulleted lines, okay, make it kind of stand out. So instead of having maybe a paragraph that has 4 or 5 things in it, you know, sentences, why not have like a number of bullet points to make it kind of stand out a little bit better? And you can do that by being here in the format text area, and over here we've got different kinds of bulleting that we can do here. We've got just character bulleting, we've got numeric bulleting. So if we thought about doing like maybe the character bulleting, we can click on that little drop down arrow, choose one of the bullets that we'd like to use, maybe use a square here, right? And there it shows up there. And then what you can do is, type in your first line. I'm just going to do some gobbledygook here. And then enter, do another one like that, enter, like that, see? And then when you're all done, you hit the Enter key again, and then one more time, and then you're back to having the bullets turned off. Okay, I'm going to insert another one of those horizontal lines here. So I'm just going to Insert here, hit that, and that'll give me some room there. So what I want to do next is show you a little bit about using the built-in tabs that we have with the system. So let's say you're going to be typing in, whatever it is. You could just use your imaginations, but you'll type in something like blah, 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 right? And then you hit your tab key maybe 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, something like that. Type in the next item, all right? Hit the tab a few times, all right, like that. And then do a third one, right? So now what happens is that'd be like the first row. Now you hit the Enter key, type in your next item, and then when you hit that tab key, because it's got set positions, you'll get yourself exactly at the beginning point of what that last one above it is, right? Put your information in there, tab it a few times like that, and same thing here, right? And you can just go on and on with that. So I'll just do one more here. So just tabbing along there, do that, and another tab there, and we're all set. So that looks pretty good. I can't read it, but you get the idea of how I'm laying it out there for you. All right, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on the next few things I'm about to show you here, but I just want to show you how quickly and easily you can put these things in. If it's something that you want to learn more about, in some of the other programs like Microsoft Word with those videos, and Microsoft Excel with those videos, we talk about what I'm about to show you in a lot more detail. But here I just want to just show you how you can quickly put something in and be done with it, right? So first of all, let's say that you wanted to put a table in here, okay? Well, you go up into the Insert tab here, right? You have Table here, and you can specify the dimensions of the table. So you can maybe say, well, I want to put a table together that kind of looks like that. All right, there you go. And then what you can do is you've got your formatting here, and what you can do is you can say, well, I want to get it so where it has some grids to it. I'm not grids, but shading on the grids there, things like that. And there's a lot of things you can do with this, but that would be you putting in a table, right? And then you can go right below it, all right? And let's say another thing you might want to put in would be maybe some sort of a picture, right? So we can actually go ahead and hit Insert, all right? Go over here to Pictures, like that, and it would normally bring you to wherever your pictures were at, usually the default area there. I'll just go ahead and I'll just go with this one here. Double click that, there it is. Playing golf in Hawaii while the volcano is erupting. How about that, huh? Classic. All right, so That's pretty neat. And that'll just enter it down a little bit like that. So there's your picture. So if you ever wondered how do people get pictures and things like that into their emails that they've been sending you, there it is. It's that easy. All right. Now we can also put graphs in. If you go to Insert, go over here to, you see a little graph icon there, add a chart. You can find one that you want. I'm just going to go with that first one there, but you've got plenty of them to choose from. You can hit OK on that. What you do is you fill it in with your labels. All right, put your own information in there. Close this up, and there's your graph. I mean, it's pretty powerful. Again, if you go into Microsoft Excel's videos, that module, or there's a there's a module on graphs, and you can watch many hours of creating graphs. You can also put in diagrams. If you go to Insert, you got this little guy over here. It's Smart Art. You click onto that, and they've got just a ton of different kinds of Smart Art graphic diagrams that you can put in place here. Very powerful. You can even do hierarchical or organizational type charts. I mean, everything's in here. So I'll just maybe pick this one here for the process. And I will click onto this guy here, hit OK, and there it is. And what you end up doing really is you put in each of your items. So I'll just put something in there, something there, something there. And you just kind of put your text in there, whatever your diagram is supposed to be representing. And you just close that up. And you've got something like that. All right. And if you don't like that particular graph or that particular diagram that you put together, you can go back up here in the Smart Art Tools, go back to the design, and pick a different design layout, maybe this one here, and there you go. Not bad. So again, I don't want to get too much in detail on that, but nonetheless, good stuff there. Now, while we're on that subject, let me just show you one more little thing here. You can actually click in a particular position here, go back to Insert, and we have something here called icons. Now, this is pretty cool. You can actually go in there, and you've got these, like, I guess, flat, like two-dimensional graphics, icons, as they call them. And got quite a few to work with there, but you can always just do something like that, and there you go. And what's kind of interesting about this, when you bring in pictures or these icons, when you click onto it, it gives you this little tag here, and it allows you to change the way text will wrap around that graphic, and especially when you put it in a position like this, you can actually click onto that, tell it that you want the text to wrap around the graphic, and you can do it either in a square or as a tight. I'll just do it as a tight that kind of wraps more around the circle part of it. And then I can take this and move it up a little bit into something like that and do that there, or maybe put it over on the right hand side. Put it wherever. I'll just put it over here. All right, something like that. So it's very much like word processing, like I said before. All right, so now let's say you're done. Okay, so let's just say this is now going to be your email message out to all the recipients that you see there, and but you're not quite done yet, and you don't have any more time to work on this right now. So what you want to do is kind of like save this and put it off, into the drafts area, and then come back to it later on and work on it. So let me just show you how you go about doing that. So right now we're not going to send it out. We're just going to save it. So what you can do is up at the top here, you got your little save icon. You click onto that, all right? And then you go ahead and close it. Close up the message just like that. And you haven't lost it because you've saved it. So now later on when you want to work with it later, you can just click on the drafts, all right? And then find it. In this case, it's going to be this one right here. And we're going to just do a double click on that. And there it is. and then we can continue to work on that. And then when we're all done, all we have to do is hit the send button, and off it goes, just like that. All right, so that's it. So that's how we go about, composing a message, doing all the necessary formatting that we want in there, and also then the, putting any kind of pictures, graphics, whatever is in there. So hopefully this will help you. Thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.